Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. All right, today, January the 6th, we're going to dig into Genesis 18 through 20. We just established the covenant between the Lord and Abram, which is now Abraham, and all their descendants that are coming after him, and all the men, they got circumcised that day. So pretty much when the Lord said to do it, they didn't waste any time. So let me get this opened up here. Hope y'all are getting everything situated, and we'll just get through these three passages, 18 through 20, and I'll let you get on with your day. All right, so the son of promise. So Genesis 18. Then the Lord appeared to him as the terebinth of trees of Mamre, as he was sitting in the tent door in the heat of the day. And to him, I assume that's Abraham, that the Lord appeared in front of. So he lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, 3 men were standing by him. And when he saw them, he ran from the tent door to meet them and bowed himself to the ground. Hold on, I want to make sure my video is going because I'll be annoyed if it's not. Okay, yeah, we're good. Sorry about that. All right, so Abram bowed to the ground and said, "My Lord, if I have now found favor in your sight, do not pass on your servant. Please let a little water be brought and wash your feet and rest yourself under the tree, and I will bring a morsel of bread that you may refresh your hearts. After that you may pass by Enashmush," I think that's how you say that, "as you have come to your servant." They said, "Do as you have said." So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah, quickly made ready 3 measures of fine meal, kneaded and made cakes. And then Abraham ran to the herd, took a good calf, gave it to a young man as he hastened to prepare it. So he took butter and milk and the calf with him, which he had prepared, and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree as they ate. Oh, this is not to the Lord, but to the 3 men that were standing with the Lord, I guess. So he took it to the men, and they all ate under the tree. Then he said to them, "Where is Sarah, your wife?" And so he said, "Here in the tent." And he said, "I will certainly return to you according to the time of life. And behold, Sarah, your wife, shall have a son." And Sarah was listening in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, well advanced in age, and Sarah had passed the age of bearing a child. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, "I have grown too old. Shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being so old, to have a child?" And the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I surely bear a child since I am old? Is there anything too hard for the Lord? At this appointed time I will return to you according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son." But Sarah denied it, saying, "I did not laugh," for she was afraid. And he said, "No, but you did laugh." And so continuing on, the men rose from where they were, and they took towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them to send them on their way. And then the Lord said, "Shall I hide from Abraham what I am doing? Since Abraham surely became a great and mighty nation, and the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I have known him in order that he may command his children and his household after him, that they keep the way of the Lord, to do righteousness and justice, that the Lord may bring to Abraham what he has spoken to him." And the Lord said, "Because the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grave, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the outcry against it that has come to me, and if not, I will know." Then the men turned away from there, and they went towards Sodom, but Abraham stood still before the Lord. And Abraham came near him and said, "Would you also destroy the righteous and the wicked? Suppose there were 50 righteous within the city. Would you also destroy the place and not spare it for those 50 righteous that are in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing as this, to slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous should be as the wicked. Far be it from you. Shall not judge of the earth do right? I read that right. So the Lord said to Abraham, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare the whole place for their sake. Then Abraham answered and said, indeed now, I, who am but dust and ashes, have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord. Suppose there were 5 less than the 50 righteous. Would you destroy all the city for the lack of 5? And he said, if I find that there are 45 righteous, I will not destroy it. And he spoke to him again and said, suppose there should be only 40. He said, I will not do it for the sake of 40. And then the Lord said, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Suppose 30 shall be found there. So he said, I will not do it and, kill the whole place for those 30 righteous. And he said, indeed now that I have taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord, suppose 20 shall be found there. I will not destroy it for the sake of 20? The Lord said, okay, maybe I got that wrong, but then he said, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak but once more. Suppose 10 should be found there. He said, 10 righteous men. I will not destroy the city for the sake of 10. So the Lord went his way as soon as he finished speaking with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. So man, the phrase, give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And just Abraham kept prying and prying, trying to lower that number. So maybe he's going to go try to find 10 righteous guys in the land of Sodom and hopefully spare the whole place. Well, we'll continue on now to Genesis 19, Sodom's depravity. Now, the 2 angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting at the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose to meet them, and he bowed himself with the face toward the ground. He said, hear now, my lords, please turn into your servant's house and spend the night and wash your feet. Then you may rise early and go on your way. And they said, no, but we will spend the night in the open square. But he insisted strongly, so that they turned into him and entered, so that they listened to him hold on, let me start. But he insisted strongly, so they turned into him and entered his house. Then he made them a feast and baked them unleavened bread, that's bread that hasn't risen, and they ate. Now before they laid down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both old and young, all the people from every quarter surrounded the house. They were called to Lot and said to him, where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, that we may know them carnally. I don't know what that means. So Lot went out to them through the doorway, shut the door behind them, and said, please, my brethren, do not be so wickedly. See now, I have 2 daughters who have not known a man. Please let me bring them out to you, and you may do to them as you wish. Only do nothing to these men, since this is the reason I have come under the shadow of my roof. As they said, stand back. Then they said, this one came in here to stay, and he keeps acting as a judge. Now we will deal worse with you than them. So they pressed hard against the man, Lot, and he came near to the breakdown of the door. But the men reached out with their hands and pulled Lot into the house with them and shut the door. And they struck the men who were at the doorway of the house with blindness, both small and great, so they became weary trying to find the door. All right. Then the man said to Lot, have you anyone else here, son-in-law, your sons, your daughters, and whomever else you have in the city? Take them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the outcry against them has grown great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. So Lot went out and spoke to his son-in-laws who had married his daughters and said, get up out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But to his son-in-laws, he seemed to be joking. They didn't take him serious. When he when the morning dawned, and the angels urged Lot to hurry, saying, "Arise, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, lest you be consumed in the punishment of the city." And while he lingered, the men took hold of his hand, his wife's hand, and the hands of his 2 daughters, for the Lord being merciful to him, and they brought him out and set him outside the city. So it came to pass, when they had brought them outside of the city, that he said, "Escape for your life, do not look behind you, nor stay anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest you be destroyed." So don't turn around, don't look back, just get the heck out of there. Then the Lord said to him, "Please know, my lords, indeed now your servant has found favor in your sight, and you have increased your mercy, which you have shown me by saving my life. But I cannot escape to the mountains, lest some evil overtake me and die. See now, the city is near enough to flee, and it is a little one. Please let me escape there. It is not a little one," it's in parentheses, "and my soul shall live." He said to him, "See, I have favored you concerning this thing also, in that I will not overthrow this city for which you have spoken. Hurry and escape there, for I cannot do anything until you arrive there." Therefore, the name of the city was called Zor. The sun had risen upon the earth when Lot entered Zor. Then the Lord rained brimstone and fire upon Sodom and Gomorrah for the Lord out of the heavens. So he overthrew those cities, all the plain, all the inhabitants of the city, and what grew on the grounds. But his wife looked back behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham went early in the morning to the place where he had stood before the Lord. I don't know exactly whose wife that is. Might have been like one of Lot's son-in-law's daughters, maybe. Maybe I wasn't following that good. But so Abram went back to the meeting place of the Lord, and then he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain, and he saw that, behold, the smoke of the land went up like a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow. When he overthrew the cities in which Lot had dwelt, then Lot went up out of Zor and dwelt in the mountains, and his 2 daughters were with him, for he was afraid to dwell in Zor, and he and his 2 daughters dwelt in a cave. Now the firstborn said to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is no man on the earth to come in to us is dadgum." "Our father is old, and there is no man on the earth to come in to us, as is the custom of the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine. We will lie with him and preserve the lineage of our father." So they made their father really drunk that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and she did not know when she laid down or when she arose. So maybe she was drunk too. And it happened on the next day, the firstborn said to the younger, "Indeed, I lay with my father last night. Let us make him drink wine tonight, and you go in and lie with him." So these are their daughters, I guess, conspiring to, have a kid with their dad. And so they're trying to preserve the lineage of their father, Lot. And so they're getting him drunk. Then they made their father drink wine that night, and he lay with the younger, and he did not know when she laid down or when she arose. Thus both the daughters of Lot were with child by their father. The firstborn bore a son called Moab, and he is the father of the Moabites on this day. And the younger also gave birth to a son and called him Ben-Ami, and he's the father of the people of Ammon to this day. So they escaped the city. It crashed down. The 2 daughters, they were living in a cave with their dad and wanted to preserve the lineage, so they got pregnant by their dad. So now on to Genesis 20. This is Abraham and Abimelech. And so Abraham journeyed to the south, dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and stayed in Gerar. Now Abraham said of his wife Sarah, she is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech, maybe, in a dream by night and said to him, Indeed, you are a dead man because of the woman whom you have taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, Lord, will you slay a righteous nation also? But he did not say to me, But did he not say, she is my sister? And she even herself said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocence, my hands have done nothing, basically, like they're clean. And God said to him, Yes, I know that you did this in the integrity of your heart, for I also withheld you from sinning against me. Therefore, I did not let you touch her. Now, therefore, restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you shall live. But if you do not restore her, know that you shall surely die, and all who are yours. So Abimelech rose early in the morning, called to his servants, and told all these things in their hearing with the Lord, and the men were very much afraid. And Abimelech, maybe, that's a hard one. Abraham said to him, or Abimelech called to Abraham and said to him, What have you done to us? How have I offended you that you have brought on my kingdom great sin? You have done deeds to me that ought not to be done. Then Abimelech said to Abraham, What did you have in view that you have done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I surely thought the fear of God is not in this place, and that you will kill me on account of my wife. But she is truly my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. So they're both sons and daughters of God. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said to her, This is your kindness, that you should do for me in every place, wherever we go, say of me, he is my brother. Then Abimelech took sheep, oxen, and male and female servants, and gave them to Abraham, and he restored Sarah his wife to him. And Abimelech said, See, my land is before you, dwell where it pleases you. So choose where to live here while you stay. Then Sarah said, Behold, I have given you a brother, 1,000 pieces of silver. Indeed, this vindicates you before all who are with you, and before everybody. And thus she was rebuked. So Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his servants, and they bore children. For the Lord had closed up all the wombs of the house Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. So yeah, I guess the Lord made it to where none of the women under Abimelech's rule could have children. I guess test if he's actually going to restore Sarah back to Abraham. And so we'll just have to see where that journey goes. But that was Genesis 18 through 20. And yeah, we'll just continue tomorrow on January the 7th. Y'all have a good day. Lord bless. And just like, subscribe, share, and comment. And we'll keep growing together. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.